Just a word to the wise about this Hoffman AR-9. I mean, it's cool that they make this and all, but there's a couple critical flaws in their instructions. One is the actual trigger pin. Claim that standard AR-9, AR-15 lower parts work, but you can see that pin is nowhere close to being as wide as it needs to be. So I had to get some M35 or M4 by 35 long fasteners, which this would help if it was like a shoulder bolt, so the trigger and the hammer don't have to ride on threads. But you need at least 32 millimeters to cross this, so that's definitely not standard AR parts. There's no threads in here. They made it too big to be able to tap it, which doesn't make any sense to me. This is obviously not standard AR parts. If this just kind of goes in here, I think this is a quarter 24 fine thread, and it's like they kind of half-assed gave you a window to put a nut in there, but again, not standard AR-15 parts. So I read through all the instructions, and they said the only thing that wasn't standard AR-15 was this 3/32 pin that I had for the magazine release. But I haven't even got to the buffer yet because, one, the ejector was too big and I couldn't even get the upper and lower to fit together. I didn't even care about the bolt release because there's not going to be a bolt hole movement on this, so I'm not even going to put it in there. But yeah, trigger pins aren't right. You can't put an ambi fire selector on it because this is too wide. They should have just made this slightly smaller and you could cut threads as you screwed it in. But yeah, this 3 big fails on this Hoffman lower. They did call out that you need 10/32 screws for these, and I got nylocks on this side for obvious reasons. But yeah, the only other thing is the takedown hole over here is blind, so that's going to be really fun to try and get out when you don't have something to push against. Yay. Alright, I hope I never have to do that ever again. But I used the 10/32 screws for the front here. I had to stack a couple of washers in there. I opened up the window there with a little carbide burr bit from Harbor Freight, jammed the lock nut in there, heated the lower, and smeared some plastic over there so the lock nut doesn't turn, and it still kind of turns. So when I was tightening that down, I had to cock my screwdriver so that the lock nut would bind against the side of the wall and actually tighten up, because you got to get the detent for the safety in and the trigger in before that safety, which there are some triggers you can slip under there that make this way easier. Not many, because it'd be ideal if you could get from the top and put a nut driver or a punch in there to keep it from spinning, but you can't. So hopefully this never has to come apart ever again.